So what if I loaded and shoot it and kill? It's nothing I feel. She suck on my dick, I'm gripping that wheel. Oh, 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 oh. What I say, she gon' do what? Since he's gone out of presidency.
You smashed that, Jay.
Yeah, everyone's been losing money. All the news corporations have been losing money.
Wait, say that again, sorry?
Ever since Trump got out of office?
Yeah.
All the news corporations would have lost
Oh, that's
money.
awesome. 100%.
Everyone would have lost ratings.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
that's like your cash cow, you know,
Yeah.
leaving it's like, you know,
'Cause
Khabib or McGregor leaving the UFC. It's
Yeah.
like,
When he was president, I would hear so much about American politics like every day on my timeline.
yeah.
Now the only thing I see is Biden like slipping on the stairs of the of Air Force One. That's all I see.
Bro, what about that call out he did on Putin?
Oh yeah, and Putin
Putin was like, yeah, let's do a live debate.
debate.
Imagine he's sitting around the Oval Office, bro, and he's like, put that out of Putin.
Yeah.
And he's sitting there and Putin comes back, he's like, yeah, let's meet up 3 o'clock backyard, bro. And he's just like,
I'm good.
his asshole just tightens up.
Nah,
Dude,
you
he
would not
barely
want that.
remembers his own speech and it's right there in front of him.
Yeah. Yeah. He can't even walk up the stairs, bro.
Dude, I
He
don't
slipped
know.
twice.
I don't know if they'll let him stay in as chief of staff for too long, bro.
But he's
chief of
he's just the
staff.
face, no?
Hey?
He's just the face.
Yeah, but
Kamala's probably.
But that's
really
what I
running the
mean. But the
presidency.
face, it's the face, and if the face can barely walk upstairs, it's not a lot of trust and faith
That's
in
why
the
they got to
face.
keep him behind the scenes as much
He's
as
supposed to
possible.
be there, like, you know, the leader of the Marines and everything, man. He's like the commander in chief.
Exactly.
Fuck.
But they know. It's just, I don't know. Kamala pulling the strings, I guess.
I feel like sometimes it's like
But it's
just
not
this.
even
I feel
Kamala.
like sometimes it's just this last generation's last bit at just holding on to the last bit of power they got, man. You know what I mean?
I don't know, man. You don't
Shit's
think-
going to be really interesting for better and for worse when our age group takes control, because I'm going to
That's
see
true.
I'm going to see a lot of things changing for the good and a lot of things getting really weird, really weird.
There's got to be an age limit to become the president. People can't be too old and run the country, I don't think.
Well, yeah, it's like at a certain age, do they like test you for Alzheimer's? Do they test your memory and stuff like that?
I mean,
like,
I think
I'm
they
being
would, wouldn't they? I think they would, wouldn't they? They would. They'll keep it under wraps, though.
yeah, but they'd have. You think they would?
Yeah, but maybe they would want someone with Alzheimer's. That's way too
Probably.
easy. You know what I mean?
Oh, how young is his missus?
Oh, I don't know, man.
Imagine if she's like 50 and she's just sharp as a tack.
Yeah.
She's just on it.
How old is Biden anyway? 70?
It's like in his 80s, bro.
Oh, he's in his 80s? Yeah, see, how can
Oh,
you run a
guy in the
country?
chair. Need a guy in
Yeah.
the chair.
That's like imagine like your grandma or your grandpa running the country. I don't think that's a good idea.
He's older than my grandmother, bro.
Exactly.
Older than my grandfather too, if he was still
Yeah.
young.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Because you can't be that old and be woke to what's happening to the young generation. Like you can hear about it and you can listen to it, but you won't understand it.
That's the problem with it too, though, because it creates, you can't sympathize with them or empathize with them at
Yeah.
that point, because everything that they're doing is like, you know, it's like it's like a grievance or annoyance to you. Or it's like, oh, these fucking millennials and whatnot. But there's a reason for their cultural movements, and there's a reason for the way that we think and talk and how we go about stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we didn't raised in different times, man. We were raised in between. We were raised in like the brief analog.
Brief analog.
The brief, like we started there, and then we saw the transition.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's
We're at the forefront of the tradition.
we're at the forefront.
transition.
We're making that shit.
yeah.
You know, so and
Yeah.
and I hope one day when I have some semblance of control over my area or power in the sense of like what I'm doing or what I've built and people are there, whatever. I hope I don't fall out of touch like that, because it just seems to lead to so much confusion from the older community
But I think it's
and
inevitable.
lack of understanding.
To a certain degree, I think it's inevitable though.
But all right, here's something I posed here. Do you think maybe it's different because we grew up in an age where we saw things changing so rapidly? Like kids born now, they're like, this is what it is. There's always a new update. Ours was like, I had a tapeman, and then I had a Walkman.
Yeah,
No, at
yeah.
first I had tape, cassette, and then I had a Walkman.
Yeah.
And then I had like the big MP3 thing, and then I had the shuffle, and then even that thing was a chunky
Yeah.
piece of shit compared to now.
Yeah.
Do you think because of that and how much evolution we saw, that when we're at that age, we won't be as like there won't be as much misunderstanding and stuff like that, because we know, like for instance, we know that we have to constantly understand and adapt to new technology coming in, otherwise we will fucking fall behind. You got to know that when you're 80. These people at this age don't know that, and it's all part of that movement of that and that constant change in things.
Yeah, but I think to a certain degree, we will be out of touch because you don't even know. Like
I'm not going to know the new Bieber coming up. You know what I mean? I'm not going to know that.
Yeah.
But I'm going to understand when kids are fucking with this whole new song that's going through whatnot. I'm like, oh, okay, so there's like a guy who's coming up through. Or what, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
But maybe by that point, I'll be like, there'll be another Bieber next year. And
yeah, you just won't give a fuck. Because right now, I'm getting there.
But what I'm saying is, what I'm saying is, I hope that my kids or my grandchildren or whatever, that I could understand why they give a fuck and not hate on it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Yeah.
But yeah, I'm gonna try my best to not be out of touch with. That's for sure. Even with new technologies and shit like that, I would want to know.
As you get older, you get more things going on, and it's like you can't stay in touch as much.
Yeah. But I don't know, man. You kind of want to be in touch. You don't want to be that lost guy that needs help with everything, though. You know what I'm saying?
No. I'm definitely that guy when it comes to technology.
Yeah.
Like, dude, I only learned...
yeah, you're already far behind in technology, bro.
Oh, I'm way behind in technology. Bro, I didn't know how to attach an email to my... a document to my emails until I was like 19 or 20. That was totally not my parents. My mom's a teacher, bro. She was constantly trying to get me to, like, you know what I mean? I was just like, nah.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
It's weird.
I know, technology has been such a big part of myself growing up. That's the thing.
Yeah, the only thing for technology I had when I was a kid was like the Game Boy and like, you know, my PS1 Sony. So. Like, I remember mum and dad having to use walkie-talkies, like, around places and stuff like that to, like, and then I remember the first I remember someone at my godparents' cafe and deli down the bottom of Albany Highway, and I remember someone bringing in the first smartphone I'd ever seen, and I was like, I think this
was it?
Can't remember what brand it was, but they tried to do something funky with it, and it had the buttons were so small. It was like, they tried to be like, look how small, it was more of like a, look at the times now. Look how small we can make these phones. You know what I mean? I remember it was red and silver. You know, my first phone was like a Nokia brick.
100%. Me too.
I remember
with
like
Snake
getting
on that shit.
Yeah. And I remember getting every now and then you'd be able to find the wallpapers that'd move on you type thing, man. Yeah.
Did you have a thing where you would be able to change the song people heard when they called you?
Oh, I remember that, bro. 100% remember that. I only did it I did it one time.
Yeah, because you had to pay.
Yeah. I did it one time, and it was fucking it was Elevator, bro.
And Britney Spears would start playing. That was a flex back in the day.
Yeah. Bro, my boss, you know, like year 8 was like, it was like Slipknot, Eminem, fucking Simple Plan, like Green Day,
Sum 41.
You know, some for 100%, Sum 41, but still like golden era rap as well, like, you know, like Tupac and Biggie in the mainstream things that went mainstream.
Linkin Park was my one.
Hey, Linkin Park, yeah. Oh, Fall Out Boy, that was huge then too.
Yeah. Punk rock emo was a thing when you were growing up.
Yeah, Short Stack came out, man. People create like things like that. You wouldn't know who that is, right? They lasted for like 6 months, bro, but they were so big for that 6 months.
I full on had the My Chemical Romance hairstyle with
long really?
Hair, long emo hair, bro.
So we called that when I was in Katanning, we called that like the metrosexual look. That was like the metro. And some of the boys like the footy boys, you notice, right? The guys that start trying to do that shit at a certain age usually are either so outcasted from the group they no longer give a fuck, or they know that they're popular enough where people aren't going to fucking, you know what I mean? Because some of that shit, man, looking back on, I'm like, I will mock you to your face.
100%.
You know? But yeah, I'm like, I look back on some of them and I remember some of the boys like doing it for football and stuff like that, and they'd spike the back and then have the front curled over, and they'd be over calling me like ram headed because I'd have the fucking like Jew fro and shit like that, you know, just still dropping all the lines. And they got and it's, you know, whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
So you had that.
I had that, yeah. I don't know.
How did you get your hair to stay up though? Because it's super fine.
Like this
and
one right
silky.
here? This?
I'm not outfitting his hair, dude. I just
You talking about right now?
yeah, no, like you just gel the fuck out of it.
No, I did
wouldn't
not
you?
gel. I'm talking about the long hair.
Yeah,
I'm
but
not-
did you
not-
spike the
I
back?
did not spike the back.
Oh,
I know what you're
you know
thinking.
what
No,
I'm
I didn't do
talking
the whole.
about?
I didn't do the whole get up. I didn't go.
Yeah.
I didn't full send it, bro. I half sent it.
Oh, okay. No, I know. I want everyone around me full sent it.
Yeah.
I couldn't do it with mine.
I didn't know gel was a thing
I can't
until
remember if I tried or not.
until I cut my hair short.
Eh?
I never knew gel was a thing until I cut my hair short.
Yeah, got
I
you.
just used to just let it grow.
Yeah, bro. I used to use like half a bottle of gel in my hair because I used to hate having curly hair at one point. It used to bring too much attention to my ass from
Got you.
kids in class and shit
Got
like
you.
that.
Yeah, as a kid, you feel self-conscious about things like that.
Yeah,
I
man.
felt
And it
self-conscious
wasn't,
about
but it
my
wasn't
nose.
like this. It was like spongy and big. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it wasn't.
yeah.
It wasn't like.
Yeah, I gotta see Young Cav, bro.
Yeah, I'll have to find a picture for
Yeah.
you, man. But yeah. If your kid had that, you'd be like, bro, get a haircut. You're gonna have a hard day.
Yeah. You know what? A lot of schools in Indonesia don't let you have long hair.
I was around a number of schools and places that didn't that would check if a guy's hair was if he came to school with like a mohawk and shit like that, the school would check him.
Got you. Is that a thing here though, or because in government schools I know that you can't have long hair for a fact.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is a thing here to a point. I mean, it depends
point.
what sort of kid you are to deal with
Yeah.
and what their rules are. Like if you rocked up with a pink mohawk, they'd probably tell you to cut it.
Got you.
I don't know what their reasoning for that is. I mean,
Yeah.
you could try when I say things like, oh, it could put a target on your back or, it could distract people. They're just easy things to say. I don't think there's a legitimate reason for
Yeah.
stopping kids from expressing
Yeah.
themselves.
Makes you look neater, quote unquote.
Yeah, but who cares, man? It's like,
I mean, that's what we think, but
yeah,
the old generation thinks a different way. The older
yeah.
generation, at least.
wonder what the ones later on will be thinking. Fuck.
Did the girls in your school used to cut their skirts and make them shorter in your high
Oh,
school?
I'm sure they used to do some sort of thing where they hitched them up or did something, but I never heard of girls I know that, but I never heard of girls at my school having to cut their skirts. or
Yeah,
anything
that
like
was a big thing in my school. And
They'd get in
always
trouble a lot for showing They'd
Exactly.
get in trouble a lot for showing their midriffs
Oh,
and stuff
really?
like that. Yeah, because
How the fuck do you show your midriff?
you
What's your uniform
You get
like?
the school shirt and you a lot of bro, you've never seen this, hey? So what a lot of Aussie schoolgirls will do is they'll I don't know, I saw it happen in Perth a bit. Might be just more like BG type community, but I don't know. But what they do is they'll bunch up the sides and they'll get their hair tie and they'll tie the knot off on the side, and it'll be you know what I mean?
Got you.
Or they'll what some of them will do as well is they'll grab the bottom of the shirt and they'll put it through the top and they'll pull it down.
Got
know?
you. Why do they? Why
That
do
one's a
girls do
bit. That one though. If one of them was
That's
going for
too
that
risque.
look, they were going you're going to tell me off. For this
Yeah.
shit, you
That's
know?
That's way too risky, for sure.
Fuck.
That's
But
hilarious,
yeah.
man. High school. That's
And before that, it was
jungle. In there.
like it is a jungle in there, bro. My sister's time was those big, long, scuffy bell-bottom type trousers, bro,
Yeah.
and skate shoes, man. You know what I mean?
What are the Aussie uniforms like? They're two-piece.
Yeah, it's just a shirt and shorts or pants. You know what I mean? For government schools.
Oh, in Indo, it's all long pants. We don't have. I mean, at least my school, and it's that humid. No shorts. Shorts only for PE class.
Really?
Yeah.
Fuck.
For my school, at least.
That's horrible.
It is horrible. But growing up, you didn't know any better.
Yeah.
And
you don't know
your class
different.
was air conditioned too, so
Yeah.
you're not in the heat.
I don't know, just to not even give kids an option. Because we'd have, bro, all right, we'd have your school shorts, your woolly track pants, your silky track pants. Because we could go, ours didn't have to be part of the school. In most schools, as long as you have navy blue or black track pants or whatever, you can use them. And the schools they'll offer you 3 different types of pants, 2 different types of shorts, jumpers. The jumpers were always quality, especially down South WA. I remember the jumpers were if you didn't have a jumper at school, man, you could have a long day.
Yeah.
You know, because our classes, they wouldn't put the heaters on either in the winter and stuff like that. If they even had them, maybe in later high school.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah.
I went back through my hometowns not too long ago, man, and the schools have had some upgrades.
Yeah?
yeah.
My school
they're
have
looking
gotten some
nice,
upgrades
man.
as well.
Oh, I can only. Your school would look like a fucking spaceship
Business
right now.
is
Then
booming for them. They opened 2 branches since I've left or some shit, bro. It's crazy.
do they have cafeteria shops and everything?
Oh
in
yeah,
there?
yeah.
Your school would be like a spaceship at this point, then.
No. There are crazy schools where I'm from, but mine was not one of them. Mine was not one of them. But there are some crazy ass schools though.
Like it's just gonna
Like,
take off and
It's like a fucking whole neighborhood, bro. I swear to God.
far. I was hearing on a podcast recently that
Uh-huh.
there's a school that this guy went to, and it's 800 kids, okay,
Okay.
in one building
Uh-huh.
on 5 or 6 levels. Could you imagine? He said you
How
had
big
to,
is this building? Small building.
small building.
God.
He said you had to get scanned before you go in for like knives and shit like that because the corridors and everything. No, because the corridors and everything are so tight, and you got kids from like different areas. You don't know,
Got
man.
you.
You can't.
Yeah.
My school was an open country town school, and we had guys just about like every third week bring a knife to school that you had to like.
Yeah.
Teachers had to
Fuck,
like
bro.
sort out. Our school, like in Katani, we got put in lockdown heaps, bro,
Why would they bring knives? Just
to sort out, settle beefs.
you're talking
Right.
about high school here, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, gotcha. I'm just
So,
imagining kids
so
with knives. bro. I'm like,
Katanning at one point. Excuse me, a little bit of a cold. Katanning at one point was the most multicultural town in Australia because they were having all the asylum seekers and everyone. That was the place that they started sending them when they were allowed in country.
Mhm.
So we had Burmese, Thai, Afghan, Sudanese, Malaysian, Indonesian,
Got you.
like big communities.
Got
Vietnamese, not too many Chinese, a few Korean.
Yeah, probably most Southeast Asian.
Yeah, Southeast Asia,
Yeah.
Lao and all that sort of
Yeah.
stuff, and Nigerians,
Yeah.
and we had northern and southern Aboriginal Noongars and Wongrais.
Right.
If I'm pronouncing that probably, if
Yeah.
I can remember, but northern and southern, and you put all that together in a country town with not much to do, bro, and you form some really interesting, cool relationships, and you see a lot of shit go down. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Especially when people bring how they act in their country to another
Got
place. You know what I mean?
High school too.
So guys are coming to
hormones
school
and
with
shit.
machetes and stuff like that, and like
Shit.
that end up like throwing them on the roofs and stuff like that. We'd have fights. There was a fight one day where it was like 40 people were suspended,
Yeah.
and it was between like a couple of different families,
Yeah.
and people getting tasered in the car park, bro.
Fuck.
Yeah. I was watching someone get tasered by like a cop, and like 3 others were trying to hold him down at the Katani show. At one point, this is like a teenager.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Full on teenage. I don't have teenage.
But the other
stories
thing
like
that we had as well, bro, is ice and everything started coming through that area. Whoa, bro, whoa. And you add in Afghan.
So a bunch of high school kids on ice here.
Here's this as well. You add in like we've lost a few to ice through high
Shit.
school. Not dead, but just like hooked.
Yeah.
But then you add Afghan and everything into the what's going on there into the mix and everything, and then people, for some reason, people just started thinking that like Muslim culture and everything only came from like Afghan. It's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
do you know how many countries are practicing like Islamic type, you know? But we had mosques and stuff like that there, man. It was just
That's interesting.
really interesting, but
Yeah.
really, dude, we had kids from Africa at my school with the full on like tribal like scarring.
Oh
I shit you not, man. It was like we had
Like
some
first generation type people.
wild people there, man.
Got you.
You know? Yeah.
My school's so vanilla that they they expelled 2 students for smoking weed.
Oh,
Outside
really?
school grounds too, bro.
bro.
They just found out they smoke weed and they expelled the fuck out of them.
That's hilarious.
And this
It's
one
so-
dude, he got caught like stealing other people's laptops and shit, and he got suspended as well.
he got suspended.
Yeah, but no
Oh, I
machetes
mean,
or anything like that.
He didn't get expelled?
Oh no, he got expelled. Sorry.
Oh, he got
The guy that
expelled. I was
stole
going to
shit.
say suspension. That's
No,
like
yeah.
he got expelled.
Yeah.
Dude, I had
That's it.
teachers, if shit went down or whatever, this happened a couple of times, I'd be standing there holding my like fucking holding something
Yeah.
or whatever. And when a teacher approached you, if they're approaching you about a situation, they'd ask you to drop what's in your hand before they'd approach you,
God.
because so many kids would come to school with weapons, bro.
Yeah.
Metalwork and workshop was just a playground for people to make fucking weapons.
You know what I'm thinking now, dude? Do you have any security in your school?
Nah, that was the nah.
Dude, I'm just thinking right now, some schools in Indonesia, or in Jakarta at least, and especially the schools I was talking about when I said there are some crazy schools,
Yeah.
it's like an embassy, bro. Like the amount of security in there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like they'll search your car for like bombs before you go in and shit like that.
Well, they can't I guess they legitimately feel like the threat is real.
Yeah, because a lot of them are like expats' kids or like, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
you look, like I said to you before about how much shit they found during G20 that would just blow people's minds on how many people would make explosives in Australia with the intention of like harming people with them. It's a real thing, man. You
Yep.
gotta.
Since that Bali bombing, remember that Bali bombing? That was a big thing.
Yeah.
Ever since then, all the malls and all the schools and all the apartments have ramped up their security.
Yeah.
So I think it's a pretty big industry back in Jakarta. Now that I think about it, when I grew up, I thought that was so normal.
Yeah, got you.
But
Yeah.
it sounds fucking weird, right? To have that much security for a school. Would you have that here?
No, because Australia's just so like we're just not near. We're just not. One, we were so late. We're so laid back.
Yeah.
Right. And two, we weren't. It's not like we weren't personally getting targeted through these conflicts necessarily. We'd have threats and everything. But the other thing is it's like the issue, bro, is you don't know till it sometimes happens. And we've been fortunate enough in Australia because we've had other things going on. Like if people think that there wasn't like raids and searches and stuff like that going on like daily and stuff like that when it had to be done, they'd be batshit insane. Yeah. But we've just been lucky enough not to be hit like America and other parts of Indo and stuff like that. You know.
Yeah. Why is that? That's interesting. Is it a cultural thing? Is it because the gap between the wealthy and the poor is so high? I don't know.
What do you mean?
Like, why do we need that much security? Why is it a threat of people bombing your school? Why is it not a threat here? Why aren't they worried that like?
Well, it depends, bro. Depends, man, because it also depends, I guess, on the pressure of your society and stuff like that. Like, I mean, losing kids at a school to a school shooting or a bombing, which is like has been regular in a lot of places and stuff like that. It gets to the point where it's like it shouldn't happen. Yeah. And so if people are going to keep doing that, then you just need to up the security measures. And we don't know if there was a school shooting in Australia or a bombing, the next day you could probably see that. There are security at the Jewish schools and stuff like that. You see guys outside in the vests and stuff like that. But nothing like what you're talking about. But we haven't had anything like that.
Dude, now that we're talking about it, I just remembered my school had a bomb threat and they sent all the kids home.
There you go.
Yeah.
I've never had anything like that, man.
Yeah. Yeah, see, it's not a thing. It's not a thing.
It's not
here.
a thing.
Yeah.
You know, so
that's interesting, man.
Yeah.
Because growing up, I just thought that was okay. That's just normal. But looking back, it's like that's pretty fucked up that happened.
No, but you know what? People say things like "this is not normal," "this is not normal." That was normal for where you were.
Exactly.
So that's
all I knew.
The status quo.
Yeah.
And I knew like people coming to school with like machetes, and it's like that's what I knew. And it's like I know there's not other schools out there with that issue, but I bet you there's kids at those schools with like some of the kids at the private schools with the shit they get up to, man. They got some fucking stories. Like that's just the normal.
For them, yeah,
whatever.
Yeah. That's true.
Yeah.
That's
so I think when people do that, it's like it's dangerous because then you start going, oh, it's like dangerous or it changed my way of thinking and whatnot. And no, it was just the normal for you.
Yeah.
You know?
I've never thought about it.
It probably made you more
hindsight.
woke and alert to certain things too.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. That's interesting. I've never thought about it.
But like, yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Like if it happened here, tomorrow you could see that to that level. But they'd have to in the face of the public.
Yes.
And so they should. Like you can't have that happen.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Just like COVID hitting and no one had a pandemic plan. Now everyone has a pandemic.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And they've fixed up heaps of like insurance things and like loopholes and all sorts of stuff. Like the COVID has changed how everything's done, but it's the same thing how war each time has changed how everything's done. How each sickness and illness and everything flood and everything that happens changes how things are done.
Would a school in America have like security because of all?
A lot of them do, but we're like
probably the high end schools would have it. The private high end schools.
Oh, they might, but they might not even have that kind of demographic and everything else that brings that kind of. Oh no, I say that that's a stupid thing. That's a dumbass thing for me to say because there's a bunch of rich white kids. Half the time. Yeah.
Or maybe not even rich white. It might be poor white. It can be anyone. But school shootings was such a big talking point in Australia, America at one point.
Yeah, and
now not so much.
I think security everything ramped up. Here's an interesting thing. A couple of years ago, they did a thing where they're teaching kids drills on if a school shooter comes into the school.
Yeah, and I think you should have that, right?
I thought it was weird, but I think,
it's dark.
Coming from like having like a military background, it's like where you it's wrong, and I don't agree that it should happen, but it becomes a necessity. If this is a threat that keeps persisting, you know what I mean?
It's sad that it's a fact that you have to think about it, but you do have to have a plan for it.
And kids, dude, you know what, man? It's like a lot of these kids that are doing it, fucking horrible. Kids are ruthless with each other, though, man. Kids just, you know, like kids need to understand as well. It's just like there's just life has some whacked out crazy consequences in it, man.
Being a kid is crazy, bro.
Being a kid is wild, man. It's like Lord of the Flies, bro. Yeah. It's straight up Lord of the Flies, man.
It's a jungle in there as well.
100%.
It's a jungle in there as well. That's 100%. Hilarious.
Yeah, the kids.
No one knows what's going on.
No, you don't even know what's going on in your own fucking mind, bro. You're like, what was that thought? You're like, is that? And then you're like, does everyone have this thought? Is that? Should I talk? No, I shouldn't talk about it. I'll just bottle this one up. I'll just
many of those, bro. Growing up in my culture, especially, so many of those.
Oh, because you're very conservative.
I mean,
and you grew up in a religious household too, didn't you?
I mean, yeah, kind of. But my parents are not like strict or anything.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, especially now when we're as adults. But what was the question again?
Is it a overall conservative culture?
Yes. The culture overall is way more conservative than this. You can't really even compare it. It's like there's still like a sexual stigma. I don't know about now, about the kids growing up right now, but when I was growing up, because I guess it's such a religion is such a big part of the country as a whole.
Yeah.
So I think that's why it plays a part into the whole stigma around it. And when I was growing up, it was a pretty heavy stigma that you shouldn't have sex like before marriage.
Yeah, right. Got you. I wonder if that also statistically...
But I did it anyway! But yeah, like you have to like keep it on the down low until like you're of a certain age, you know what I mean?
Bro, do you think that there's more... I don't think we're going to be able to finish all these topics today. Do you think that there's more statistically unhappy marriages with people who were unable to try before they bought?
In my opinion, with no knowledge of anything, I would say so. It has to be.
Yeah.
It has to be.
Because sex becomes like such a massive part in your relationship.
Yeah.
In the sense of like how it takes place and just all the things because
you got to be sexually compatible. I think.
Yeah. And if you think that your partner isn't weird, give it like 5-10 years, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And sex is a massive driving force for like heaps of just like within people, just like heaps of thoughts and impulsions and desires and needs and all that shit. It becomes a huge thing.
I don't know, man. It's such a hard thing to think about because imagine saving yourself for marriage. Like you and your partner save yourself for marriage and then
terrible joke.
And then you fuck and then it's the greatest thing ever. Then like congrats to you. It must feel so satisfying. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. But
what if it's in the opposite end?
But also, you've got to wait. You can't just off the first one though go shit.
Right, that's true.
You've got no reference point. You can't just go, well, nah, this isn't gonna work.
Yeah.
But maybe after like give it like, because you gotta be open enough. The thing is, you'd have to be. It's not just the act of sex, right? It's the conversations around it.
Yeah.
As well that you got to be able to have.
You got to
with your
give it a
partner.
year or two.
Really let it. 100% at least.
Yeah.
You know, because it's all that.
But I guess if you love each other that much, you can just work through it. It's just communication, right?
Yeah, but there's love and then there's things that 100% communication, but then there's love and then there's things that you just can't get past at times.
Okay, yeah,
right?
That's true
as a value point or like a moral point or whatever, there's things you can't get past. And if this person's like, well, I need this to sort of be more, to help fulfill my life a bit more and stuff like that. And if you can't give that, I need to.
Yeah, it's such a big part of human life. As a human, sex is such a big part. So yeah, it'll be hard, man. It'll be hard for sure.
Yeah. I'd like to like ask a bunch of them, but it's such a rude question though.
I mean,
like a personal question.
I know some super religious people and I don't think a single one of them is planned to or is saving themselves for marriage.
Yeah, well that just feeds into the lie of religion.
Yeah. And people just choose their sins, bro.
That's such a good way of looking at it.
Yeah.
I've never thought about it like that, bro.
Oh, bro. Being like a Muslim or growing up as a Muslim and having a lot of like
you got to
Muslim
have
friends,
that mentality with it, right? Because you know you're going to fuck up.
You can't drink. You can't smoke. You can't, bro. People just choose their sins. and like whatever, if whatever floats your boat.
That's so cool because it's almost like you have to choose your sins.
Yeah.
No matter.
It's like you ask a Muslim, will they eat pork? Like, no, but they'll go out every Friday taking coke and
bro, it was some of
drinking
them. It was
pints.
some of the Muslim boys that got full hooked on the pipe back home.
Yeah.
So that doesn't mean
the Slims.
Yeah, it's yeah, right. That's such a cool way of looking at it. You just pick your sins,
Yeah.
and then that comes down to your values and your
Yeah.
your
It's,
morality and things.
I'm pretty grateful that I grew up like as a Muslim and then I went to a Christian school.
That's the camera, isn't it?
Yeah.
We'll be back.
We'll be back.
All right. So we're back. We camera battery issues again.
Yeah.
So you were just talking about going from a Muslim school to a Christian school.
Yeah.
How old were you when that happened?
No, I didn't go from a Muslim school, but I grew up as a Muslim. Like I had lessons to read the Quran and all that shit. So I grew up in a Muslim family, and then I went to a Christian school when I was in the 8th or 9th grade. 9th grade, 8th grade, whatever.
Yeah.
So I'm just super grateful because I just saw the world with two different perspectives.
Gotcha.
And they just put the whole religion thing into perspective, for me at least.
What's current Rav's take
Rav,
on religion?
I think it helps some people. Some people need that, and I think it's good if you use religion as a good reference point or a positive source of your life. 100%, all the power to you. Obviously there are people on the other side of the spectrum as well, like all the extremists and shit. But for me, I feel like
a bunch of them were going to do what they're going to do, and they just would have given it a different title if they didn't have the religion.
Yeah.
You know?
I feel like a lot of people are born into it, first of all, because that's what happened to me. But I feel like as long as you're a good person, why can't you go to heaven, quote unquote? If you're a good person but you don't believe in God and he sends you to hell, that's kind of like, come on. That makes you kind of an asshole.
Come on.
You know what I'm saying? But I don't know. We'll see what happens. But
I have mixed feelings on it on like so many days.
Mm-hmm.
I think for people, it is important for some people, and they've become like a better person through it, and they're able to give more and be happier and spread more positivity and all that sort of stuff. And I think that's amazing.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like over that word religion, it's just caused so many wars and issues and problems, and it's sort of shaped a lot of aspects of society now for sure. But my biggest issue with it is just sometimes you get a glimpse of like the powers that be at the top, and then it's just like everything's corrupt.
Yeah.
Not down to the person who's there worshipping or having a prayer to God and stuff like that, or whoever they believe in. It seems to be a lot of people at the top, and it's just like trying to pull the wool over people's eyes still, and that's been happening since religion was fucking invented.
You know what's crazy? People still buy into characters like Joel Osteen, all these billionaire pastors.
Yeah,
like
that's fucking.
How is that a thing?
Yeah, I was like, I guess if it gives them that daily hit of serotonin or dopamine that they need, you know what I mean? It's like, I fucking love that guy.
That is true.
It's so just like, you know?
Yeah, people believe in crazy shit though.
Well, how it used to be, right? When you have like, people used to believe that all the gods existed, right?
Mm-hmm.
Thor, and everything, but also but also Zeus existed. Like people believe that all your gods and everything existed, or to a point. But what they thought when they fought wars is that whoever won was the strongest god. And if your god was some name and did something, and my god was some name and did something, and we fought, and I crushed you, as that would happen. My god would be the one that your people started praising because he's now the most powerful god. Because how else could we win?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And it just sort of transformed and evolved. But I think it's all from people maybe trying to, and who knows, maybe there was a man with a beard and long hair that used to walk around and do miracles for people, bro. Or maybe he used to hand out, or maybe he used to be a really nice man who used to hand out mushrooms to people and tell them stories and make them feel better. You know what I mean?
I don't want to speak out of turn here, but
you know,
there are a lot of theories about them using psychedelics, and
there's old pictures of him talking to people with mushrooms growing in his feet.
Yeah, shit like that. Like that, you know? Funny shit like that. Like, this is separate, but aliens in paintings from 1600 or like the
Yeah,
old
yeah.
days with aliens on there. That shit's interesting as well.
And that could also just be a form of people, like if there were no aliens there or whatever it was, it could just be a form of people tripping on mushrooms. It's like you go into, like I was talking to you about Vikings before, but you hear some of their old stories and everything. A lot of it sounds like them walking through the forest tripping balls on mushrooms. And they're guided by their thoughts on what Thor is or whatever, or Odin. And then obviously that thought or that intention has inspired them in the trip. And when they come out of the trip, it's like Odin has talked to me and blah, 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 blah. He's just tripping and touching in with like the powers that do be.
Yeah. Do you know what the stoned ape theory is?
Oh, I don't right now. I don't off the top of my head.
Just to refresh your memory.
Yeah.
So in human evolution, scientists, or maybe a scientist, I don't know, there's a theory where they say there's a big jump in the development of a chimp's brain to an early human's brain. And they believe that it's because these chimps ate a bunch of like psychedelic mushrooms, and that helped evolve the brain at such a rapid rate.
Yeah.
That makes us humans now.
I'll run with that.
Yeah. Sold.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's super interesting.
Yeah. So it was like people used to, and so Joe Rogan a couple of years ago inspired me to go down the rabbit hole to kind of look at it because of just what he was saying about like the medieval times and stuff. And before it was like banned, because I legitimately believe that psychedelics were banned in the because they were banned a long time ago when control was different. So to tell people like, oh, that's a conspiracy to say they didn't want people having more free thinking and more open-mindedness and stuff like that. That back then, that's 100% accurate because everything was controlled through religion and culture like that. So if you had people trying to expand and think outwards and like, dude, put it this way, they used to ban people from talking about a name in a town, bro. Like, you know that so you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I think people used to hand them out to, because Middle Ages or the Dark Ages was shit. It's not like a good time to be in. I think they used to hand them out to friends and neighbors to make them feel better and at certain times of year and stuff like that, you know?
Yeah.
If you want to hear me waffle on a bit more real quick as well, I've got a story. Have you heard about like, Callum taught me this. Saint Nick, or like the red suit and the beard and everything and the reindeer and stuff like that. I think it's in Russia.
Okay.
I think it's in somewhere in Russia.
Santa, right?
Hey, yeah.
But this, Santa?
Yeah, I'm talking about Santa, but
the OG Santa.
Yeah. Okay. But just bear with me. I believe it's in Russia. They've got deer herders up in these mountains, and the deers eat the psychedelic mushrooms that are up there, but when it gets filtered through their body and it comes out as piss, as urine, it's potent as fuck and you can drink it.
Okay.
So they get their deer piss. And they drink deer piss and they get high as shit. And they use and they use sleds to go around their mountains herding deer.
Yeah.
And presents at the bottom of trees is the mushrooms growing through the deer shit at the bottom of the Christmas pine trees, bro. Of the pine trees. And that's where the gifts under the tree and everything people believe comes from.
Can I look this up?
Yeah, bro. You can 100%. 100%.
Okay, I got
They're
it.
these deer herders that get high as shit off of deer piss.
Okay, so what should I type in Google here?
Fuck.
Saint Nick?
Saint Nick deer herding
Psychedelic
psychedelic mushrooms or something like that. Yeah.
I mean, but there are a lot of theories like that. And people who study the Bible say that psychedelics was used or like just used in some form in these stories or in these old religious rituals.
It's also such a nice thing when you got someone woke to and whatnot to give someone. Or like to let someone in on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
when I rocked up here and you're like, hey, would you like to do
Yeah.
like shrooms and roll? And I was in a mate's the other night and he's like, oh, I've got these mushroom caps. I'm going to do half with you because I don't know. I don't really trust the guy who's.
Yeah.
And it was just really nice. It lasted for like, 20 minutes or something like that. It was just like a micro dose.
Got you.
But it's always just really nice.
Yeah.
It's a nice thing to do with someone or give someone. You know?
I think. I don't know. I don't want to say everyone, but people.
Oh, and it's almost picking season, Rav. It's almost picking season.
People should at least see what psychedelics are about. Not everyone, but some people. Because it just opens up a lot of things in my mind. It's introspective. I think you can benefit from it.
100%.
But it's not for everyone, like I said.
Or, look, sometimes you can be in for a rough time. If you've been doing wrong.
Yeah. Especially
or if you've been taking
wrong.
on toxic stuff, and I've had both trips where I knew I was doing wrong and one where I was taking upon toxic energy from people and not a great time, but needed.
Yeah.
Taught me a bit, you know.
Yeah. And if you feel like you need to control everything, it's probably not for you.
Dude, I wonder if the whole world just want. Imagine if the whole world. Nah, it'd be a bad idea. Imagine if the whole world at the same time just took like 1.5 grams.
I think to be president, you got to trip on.
Oh, you got to go through like you got to go through like this ayahuasca like type ceremony, bro. Oh,
on the day of your.
Wouldn't that break the system, bro? Oh, God, fuck.
Then you'll feel so connected with everyone. Like you'll appreciate the earth more. Like how is that a bad thing?
Imagine if you're the president and you have to trip lawfully by law. You have to trip once every 6 months or once a year.
Yeah,
bro.
Before you start your campaign, you got to trip. I think that's a good idea.
I'm laughing because that would just some of the people you're getting going for that would just completely change them.
Dude, I think we'll live in like a utopia, bro.
Dude, we're probably coming to the time where the next president's coming up. I have probably
Yeah. I mean, Obama smoked weed, didn't he?
He probably did more then.
Yeah, exactly. He probably did more.
He probably tripped.
Justin Trudeau probably.
But no, you have to do it before you. So you have to do it before you start. You know what? We've got topics that we're going to talk about, and I don't really give a fuck.
Yeah, me neither.
So you're the president, and you've got to, or you're going. So if you're running for president, oh, bro, can you imagine Kanye on fucking?
Yeah. So hear me out here. One before your campaign starts, and one during inauguration.
I like
just
it.
To remind yourself.
Imagine if they get you to drop these shoes before you go and look at the Book of Secrets, bro.
Yeah, bro.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Unless that is the Book of Secrets. Just a whole DMT.
you open it up and it's just like, got your shoes, you got your DMT, you got your, you got your acid there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you're like, you've never had acid before. And they're like, and now you rip a cone. And it's like.
Yeah. You rip a cone and you go on a trip.
Yeah.
And then you feel like you need to help the world, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. You'll be put in your place for sure.
You'll be put in your place. You'll 100% be put in your place.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll feel extremely insignificant.
Yeah.
And that the whole thing that you're doing would probably seem one, insane, and two, right? How insane would it be if you're the president and you do a mushroom trip? How insane would it be thinking of like, I'm this person in this suit and I'm in charge of this entire nation of people.
They're giving you nuclear codes the next day. I'm like, oh shit, bro.
I know someone comes in and they're like, oh, he's tripping. Oh, can you just relay that the nuclear codes are on their way? They might just be a day or two delayed. And do you hear that shit? And it's like, just your mind would just be like.
Nah, but you need like a shaman and like a psychologist there.
Yeah.
Bro, you can make it, bro.
You can make it.
You can make it.
You can make it. It'd just be wild.
Yeah.
But it depends on their personality disposition. You could have someone who could just take it in their stride and just be like, go through all the motions and just be like, it is what it is in the trip. I'm laughing right now. I'm crying right now. Or you could have someone who will just completely try and reject it.
Yeah.
Like, could you imagine if you gave old mate fucking, what's his name? Biden like 3 grams?
Oh, I think he's going to cut the whole professional act. He's just going to be.
He'd probably come out and be like, I've been hiding that I'm gay for the last 80 years.
Nah, bro, he'll probably be like a happy-go-lucky 80-year-old hippie. You know what I mean?
Wait, you see him like in 2 years' time after he does the mushroom trip and he's just like got this normal, nice house out somewhere. He's got his shirts and he's just like chilling. He's just smoking a spliff on his front deck and he's like, I'm done with it all.
Yeah, I think Joe Biden is that fun uncle that's not really there. You know what I mean?
Oh.
All really up there in the head. But unfortunately,
sometimes
he's just in the politics.
when I look at him struggling with what he's doing, it just looks like his brain is so desperately trying to fix the situation, but he's physically unable to.
I think low key doesn't give a fuck either, bro. He's just there for the vibes.
He's probably been pushed into it by someone.
100%.
Because he had all the people or the party or whatever.
And he's got that tie to Obama.
He's probably not even really calling the shots.
I mean, he's 100% not calling the shots. 100% not calling the shots.
You're going to have people in that office who are like just watching these guys speak or talk. The same thing they would have been with Trump, but I think he's more of a puppet.
Is Fox News talking shit about Biden?
Oh, I haven't looked.
Me neither.
They've got to be.
They probably play that.
Bro, they'd be playing him falling up the stairs on repeat, bro.
Yeah, but that's it. Because other than that, he's behind the scenes. You never see him. He doesn't tweet. You know something? Is it all good?
Yeah, it's all good. He probably doesn't even know what Twitter is, bro.
Yeah, probably.
So, no, 100% would know what Twitter is.
Nah, he does not know how to retweet a tweet. Bet money. He does not know how to retweet a tweet. There's no way an 80-year-old guy knows how to retweet a tweet. How old's Trump, by the way?
Fuck you. Oh, Trump's in his 70s, bro. Hey, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, but
But he's a business
Yeah,
magnet like thing.
he has to know.
Bro, you know what? I'm obviously at this point I've got to bet against you, but I think your money's safer than mine.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
think you know.
My
you
money's
know.
definitely safer.
Bro, but you could get I don't know. I don't know how to retweet a tweet.
I mean, if you download it, you figure it out.
Maybe he and I should download it together and try and figure it out together.
Yeah, probably.
And then I'll be like, wait, so you want a trip later? You'd be like, trip?
Yeah, no, but the news, there's nothing. I don't hear anything anymore.
Probably a good thing, bro.
Yeah, 100%. Because
It's
the election's
so-
over. Before the election, it was
Just
all
fills your
guns
head with,
a-blazing.
I mean, it's funny. It just fills your head with shit though. It's funny if you're woke to the whole the whole circus
Fiasco,
of
yeah.
everything, right? If you're woke to the whole circus of everything, it's hilarious.
yeah.
But it's also,
But it's sad too.
it's sad too. And you just see the people that it infects, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's just like, and it gets to me too sometimes.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And
Exactly.
I'm like, oh, when it does,
Dude,
bro,
when
it's
COVID
burned.
first got announced here, I was a little itch. I thought I had COVID, man.
You're a bit like that though, Rav. Because you have something happen. You're like, I'm getting a scan. I'll be like, wait, where are you at? You're like, I'm getting a scan.
Oh,
getting a
100%.
scan.
When it comes to like a niggle or a little thing,
I'm getting a
scanned,
scan. When he had whatever, if he gets a niggle or whatever,
Yeah.
champ, he's getting a scan.
bro. 100%.
And then you talk to me, and
was
my
worse.
thumb will be like completely out. You'd be like, you should get that scan. I'll be like, oh look, I'll sleep and it'll wake up 30% better.
Yeah. That is right. Though when it comes to like injuries, I'll get that shit looked at straight away.
Dude, I've had it. I had swine flu when I was little. I've had yeah, I nearly it got me good. I've had fevers, and I've had my blood go I've had my body try and go septic on me 3 or 4 times. I've had broken bones, and it's
Yeah.
I feel like, and it's just like I'll be right.
Yeah. No, but growing up, I'll be alright. But now when I'm trying to train all the time, I get it looked at straight away. They announced today that Gordon Ryan signed with ONE for MMA and Jiu Jitsu.
Do you reckon that he signed a little earlier just because he's frustrated he can't get matches in Jiu Jitsu? So he's like, I'm going to have to... do you think he's like, my competitive career here, bar some things in ADCC has played out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that definitely played a big part. Because I remember him earlier in his career, he said he wanted to get into MMA, right?
Yeah.
But then he kind of stopped that because he was focusing on Jiu Jitsu.
And John didn't want him either not too long ago.
Yeah.
I wonder how much ONE offered him. Must be a stupid amount.
Yeah, and it's good for his brand too, man.
100%.
Yeah.
It's everything.
I think it's a good play.
Great for everything. And the thing is, you've seen how good people can get from a year of striking, right?
Yeah.
Or how much improvement they can make.
Mm.
He's been doing his MMA and stand-up and everything, I'm pretty sure, consistently and semi-consistently for the last 5 years.
Mm.
And he's got pros that he gets to talk to and mix it up with.
Yes.
He's always
That's the best part.
So I think he can fight.
Mm.
But I don't know how he moves or anything like that. So we'll see coming up, But he's obviously, everything's got to be more focused on getting to that clinch and stuff like that.
Yeah,
he's not as explosive as Gary either. And everyone always says, and he always makes the joke that he's not athletic. He's not. Heaps
He
of people
always says it, yeah.
Yeah, and so I'm interested to see how he moves and does.
So
it.
what weight will he be competing at?
Oh, yeah, I have no
99?
idea. I thought about it too. I have no idea what he's going to compete at in the MMA because they've also got they've got more restrictions on the water, how much water you can cut.
Yeah, exactly.
Through ONE.
Yeah. I mean, it'll be fun to see, man. If he just takes the Gary Tonin approach, don't go against some high-level people at first, obviously. Just build up your career. He's only 25, man. He can be a great.
Oh, 26, Rav.
Oh, 26.
He's older than me now.
He can be a great.
Got time up on him now.
6 years.
Yeah.
And with a coach like John, and if he just works on his wrestling and his stand-up, no one's going to hang with him when it comes to the ground.
Even you watch him just do that slap and he turned it over like a hook. He turned his elbow over like a hook.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything he did was he popped the shoulder out and everything. Yeah.
Yeah. But it'll be interesting to see because ONE's all about respect, and Gordon likes to talk a bit too much trash.
Maybe that's why they want him as well.
Maybe. Maybe.
You know,
But
maybe.
it doesn't align with their.
But
core
Gordon's
values.
always talked quite respectfully for the most part about people who fight MMA.
Mm.
He's always
Yeah.
given credit that way.
He might change his tune. Who knows? Who knows?
Could-
Because once he gets to a bigger audience, he actually does have to change his tune a little bit. Though.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Well, it's the same thing like Wagner Hocha was talking about in
Yeah.
that which was kind of like cool. He daddied him, bro.
Oh, dude, I loved everything he said though.
Yeah. I fucked with everything he
Yeah.
said. He was just pretty much telling him like sort of things that we've talked about, and you've brought up.
Mm.
It was just like he's saying that just because you're doing great jiu-jitsu doesn't mean you're doing good things.
And you're not
there's-
doing good things for the sport.
Yeah, and he's saying there's so many more things you could be doing for this sport compared to like
For the growth of
how
the
you are
sport.
acting and everything, you know?
For the kids.
Yeah.
Because people say for the kids, but that actually means a lot. Like for the kids.
Imagine what it's like if we can get this thing to the point where they can be proper paid athletes on a roster.
Mm-hmm.
Like if this becomes another outlet for money and like a living, you know what I mean, and growth and knowledge and all that sort of shit.
And just self-improvement.
Exactly. Because it's just imagine if you brought that in and how many people would be doing jiu-jitsu and getting into it and stuff like that, and how big and how interesting the culture, because it's still in its infancy.
Yeah.
So how interesting the culture could get with all these different influences coming. Dude, India only just got its first jiu-jitsu school the other year.
Yeah.
So like it's, you know what I mean? Imagine, you know,
Yeah,
20
like
years time or some shit.
Yeah, and if it grows, there's like the second biggest population in the world. So.
Exactly. You know.
That's what I'm saying. All these Asian countries, they have so many people, but just because the infrastructure isn't there, they don't have names at the top of the heap.
Yeah.
But that's just because the infrastructure isn't there.
100%.
If you have 7 billion people to choose from, bro, come on. A Michael Jordan is hidden there somewhere.
Yeah, oh, it has
You know
to
what I
be,
mean?
man. Has to be. Like, yeah, it has to be.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just a matter of finding them and polishing them
molding
up
them,
and
yeah.
giving them a space to learn and have that outlet. You
Yeah.
know?
I mean, I'm still rooting for Gordon to win, but I'm a fan of Wagner for sure.
I want.
Everything he said it just made sense. Exactly what I was thinking.
Imagine how crazy to be a Wagner submitted Gordon.
I'll be mad.
You kind of know you'd have to almost like say if I was Wagner's size
Uh-huh.
and I was going against Gordon, I'm probably more experienced people would probably be like, nah, I'd do this.
Yeah.
But I feel like Gordon's going to eat whatever limb submission you throw at him for the most part. And he's pretty fucking big. Unless you get like a rotational shoulder lock on him or something that's going to keep him out for a long time, I don't see you finishing him unless you choke him.
So are they doing no time limit or 30 minutes?
It
It doesn't matter. I don't know, man. 30 minutes, Gordon's bigger. I think Gordon is so confident in his defense.
If Gordon gets mount on him too, that's just like,
oh, it's hell.
it's game
bro.
over.
Yeah.
You know, probably.
Nah, I don't think. Yeah. I mean, he has that GSP effect, right? Like, you don't think anyone's going to be beating him, like the Khabib effect. You just can't envision someone beating him right now.
Oh, I can see someone taking
Like
his
who?
back. It's like I can see.
Okay.
It's just all about. I think you know what it is, man. I think it's also all about like if your jiu-jitsu knowledge and strength and everything and weight and everything is good enough,
Mm-hmm.
watching a shit ton of tape and just finding that one piece and just repping it, and everything is designed to get him into that one
Gotcha.
area or force him into a spot he's not so comfortable. Maybe you force him into an area where he has to use a bit more athletic. Maybe you force some scrambles on him, or maybe like, you know what I mean? Like there's a formula, and then you just need to find that spot.
Yeah, there is a formula, but man,
And the thing is, but he's right on everything he's saying, and it's like his jiu-jitsu and the people that are winning consistently, it's just that new age of jiu-jitsu, and it's just tearing through the other shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's, yeah. The interesting thing about Wagner is he didn't start jits till he was like 21, 22.
yeah, that gives me hope.
I like it. I was like,
I mean, the bigger guy against the smaller guy, when technique is equal, that's already hard as it is.
oh, 100%. But then it comes down to like some Wiley Fox mindset shit.
That is, yeah,
you know
yeah,
what
yeah.
I mean? How do I got to figure this one out.
Yeah.
You know,
I don't know. I don't see Wagner winning it. How much bigger is he? 20 pounds more?
he's got to be more.
A good 20 pounds, 25
Wagner wouldn't
pounds?
have put weight on for it
Yeah.
either.
Yeah. Yeah, it'll be fun though because Wagner brings it. So he's not going to be stalling. And
100%.
in jiu-jitsu, you got to see a finish, man. When you don't see a finish in a jiu-jitsu match, it's like, okay, if there are some cool scrambles, but very rarely.
Yeah,
a
but
sick
you
match
know the
without a
issue
finish.
that I have, right? So when I'm watching a match, because I'm expecting or wanting a finish, right?
Mhm.
So when I see the cool scrambles, I'm like, oh, that's fucking dope. That's
Mhm.
dope. And then I'm like, sub will be coming soon.
So we're going soon, huh?
when the sub doesn't come, I look back and I'm like, all these scrambles look stupid because they were so loose in them that if he had have just tightened up his hip there or sat in or you know, everything's in hindsight.
Yeah.
But it's like you would have had that sub.
Yeah.
But when they get the sub, I don't go, oh, that was an overly loose scramble. You could have had the sub. Then I'm like, fuck yeah, you got the
Sick
sub.
guy.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
100%. But it's
Yeah.
like a knockout, you know? A submission is like a knockout. Jiu-Jitsu's version
Especially
of a
when you have enough knowledge to know that it's like at certain levels as well, the effort that it takes to get someone into that position. And
Yeah.
even if you get them in there in the first 30 seconds, how many times have you drilled that shit?
Yeah.
Like, you know
And
what I
if
mean?
you just do everything perfectly with the wedging and everything,
Yeah.
fuck.
You know what's amazing is when people time their movements perfectly with the movement of with their opponent, and everything just rotates and spins and slides into place.
Yeah.
When those little moments happen, they're cool to see.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because it's like the body can do that when you have another person with you and you have body contact. The body can do that.
Yeah.
Like, or you can end up in that movement.
You're right. It's similar but different to like soccer. Because
Yeah.
sometimes when I used to play a lot of soccer, sometimes you get in that flow state as well.
Yeah,
where you do
yeah.
everything perfectly.
Yeah.
Get the ball just right. Like the angle and everything.
Yeah.
But that ball is not giving reactions.
Yeah. 100%.
Whereas in jiu-jitsu, the other guys
giving you reactions.
real
So
time.
how in tune are you at that point when that happens? And we've all had moments like that, whether it's on the training mats or in comp.
Yeah.
And it's just where everything, and it's like,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, that's interesting, man.
Yeah.
Yo, speaking of competitive jiu-jitsu,
Yeah.
they're having a male versus female fight.
Oh,
And it's a big one as well.
yeah.
It's not some random.
Craig Jones versus Gabi Garcia.
When Craig first shared that on Instagram, I thought it was a joke.
Sorry for my sniffles today, by the way, everyone. I'm just a bit sick.
It's not the COVID. It's all good.
Yeah. No, my mate was like, you just on the tram with a bat, wiping your nose with a bat wing.
Yeah.
blowing into
Excuse
it.
me.
Excuse me, just my bat.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. What were we?
But yeah, Gabi Garcia and Craig Jones.
What do you think? So you thought it was a joke when they first mentioned it?
Yeah,
right?
because I know they fuck with each other, right?
Yeah,
Gabi
yeah.
Garcia and the whole DDS.
Yeah. Henzo Gracie Academy, yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, so I just thought they were fucking around, but it seems like it's actually happening.
Yeah, I think it's cool because initially, she made the joke to Gordon. She did the fake call out on Gordon. She was calling everyone pussies.
Yeah.
And then Craig started saying something, and at first,
calling everyone pussies, by the way.
yeah,
What's that about?
she was. Yeah, she
Yeah.
was. Well, she was saying because she was
no pussy.
no, because she's like, I'll match with him. Why won't you have a match with him?
Yeah.
Like, I'll have a match with him. I don't care. Like,
Yeah.
it's whatever. You know what I mean?
Imagine Gabby subs Gordon. Come on, man. Anyways, continue.
Could have happened in the training room. We don't know.
Oh, it has happened.
You know,
Okay.
yeah. But when Craig mentioned it, I was like, I don't know, maybe they could do this, maybe, you know what I mean? But what Stringers can they just do that? Or is that my lack of awareness
That's a good question.
on gender in competition these
That's
days?
a good question. Can they do that? Okay.
I mean, they
So
can. They've obviously
that's,
proven, but did they have to do something with the Sports or Combat Commission? Did they have to sort something out?
Yeah.
You know?
But see, jiu-jitsu is one of those sports
Or-
that you
or-
can have a match
You
like
made a
that.
terrible joke.
Go ahead.
Nah.
Okay, but jiu-jitsu is one of the sports you can't have that in striking. No way. The optics of that is too bad.
Yeah, right. So
too
maybe
bad.
that was the loophole.
Wrestling, maybe. But I think jiu-jitsu, especially Craig, he'll probably pull a guard. He's not going to wrestle with her.
No.
I think it's...
Imagine if
It'll
he
be a-
blast doubled her, bro. And he blast doubled her and just put her in the camel
Yeah.
in the camel choke or the camel lock. And just tapped her and like it just goes up,
Yeah.
beats his chest.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
just-
For all the dudes out there.
never again.
Yeah. But yeah, there's no way this happening in striking, but jiu-jitsu would be fun.
Well, and the thing is, kids grow up competing against the opposite gender in striking and in wrestling.
Well,
and
do you think she
jiu-jitsu.
outweighs him, though?
Yeah. Oh wait, no,
Similar?
similar,
Yeah.
'Cause you
so
gotta
what's the
remember-
problem?
dude. It depends because she might. I don't know if she's been. I mean, she's been taking shit. Like
Huh?
it depends. It comes down to bone density as well.
Yeah, really? She's been taking shit, you think? She looks pretty natural to me, bro.
Bro, you know, some days I just feel so tentative about what I want to say. And it's just, but it comes down to bone density as well.
Yeah.
And that's like what
That is
guys
true.
have got it up on them. Or
Yeah.
got up on them.
So that'll be pretty interesting.
Yeah.
I don't think any other sport will let that happen, though.
No, which I think's cool.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's going to be, it's interesting for the sport. There's heaps of new plays and moves coming in and it's changing people's mindsets and ideas
Yeah.
around it. You know what I mean? Which is cool.
I just wish maybe it wasn't someone as high level as Craig.
No, I think,
Because Craig beats like 90% of the guy, like 99%, 95% of the guy.
but his brand's
Of the
not going to
men.
take a hit if he loses.
Nah, but it's not about that. It's like you want Gabi to have a bigger chance of winning.
No, because she's at the top in the women's and he's at the top in the men's. You're not
Nah,
gonna
so-
you're
but
not
you're
gonna
giving-
match him.
You're giving
with-
her a top like 2 guy in the world. Why don't
And-
you give her a
yeah,
top 10 guy?
Yeah, but he's getting a top 2 female in the world.
Yeah, but
See, if we have to look at it inequality,
nah, but
That's-
we would want to see her beat someone up first, and then the next fight with a top guy would be even bigger.
you might see her beat him up. There's not enough money in the game for him to bother doing that, bro.
Yeah.
You know, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
But there's not
But it'll
enough
be
money
funner.
or time.
I would want to see Gabi Garcia choke out a dude. But I don't think she's gonna choke out Craig.
Just
is
go
what
to
I'm saying.
Henzo Gracie's, bro. You probably see her do it every day.
Yeah, but at a competitive professional setting.
Yeah, I feel you.
Yeah.
Maybe she's also, dude, if it goes well, this could be a consistent thing for her
Yeah. She's a bit too aggressive though, in my opinion.
on the mic.
No, she's just calling. No, it seems like she has a chip on her shoulder, which I guess.
Dude, she has been
It's fair.
hated on,
Yeah,
had
yeah.
so much shit
Which okay, I guess it makes sense.
talked on. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay.
For
Nah,
sure.
she's not too aggressive. She should be mad.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she
should be mad. Yeah,
got-
yeah.
she,
My bad.
she probably, dude, she probably got put through the fucking ringer
Yeah.
at the start of her
Yeah,
career.
Yeah, go talk your trash, Gabi. Go fuck Craig up for me.
I was making jokes all the time. Still guilty over the other one, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
But it was more just like, imagine the social media in the beginning, bro. Imagine looking at that as her. Fuck that.
100%. I would not want that.
Yeah.
I would not want that.
Yeah. You know, so she's probably a much more, even if she's come out on the other side of it, she's probably an even better person because she's let go of so many things that so many of us hold on to, and that's caring about what other people think and say. You know?
Yeah.
Anyways,
That's a
I'm
big.
stoned.
That's
I'm
a big
fucking
part.
praised.
That's a big thing, though.
Yeah.
Caring about what people say.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a big thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why should you care? But you do.
So I think it comes down to making our lives as easy as possible and going through society without as much hassle. But I think it's impossible for a man to go through life and not have things happen to him.
Yeah.
You know,
That's life, I guess.
that's life. So
Anyways.
people need to be woke to that shit.
We tried to record a 30-minute episode today. I think we've gone for
Like
an hour and a half.
An hour and 45. Yeah, hour and a half.
hour and a
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, good chat.
Yeah, you too, man.
Um.
Pretty blazed. I'm starting to feel a bit shit too.
Yeah, it's just the weather, man. I think the flu's going around. It is what it is. Life's still good.
We're still getting it done.
Yeah. All right. Peace, people.
Yeah, have a good day, everyone. Get it.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Rolling with Rav and Cav. I'm doing the outro alone today because I'm down with a cold. And if you've watched or listened to this episode, you can hear and see Cav clearly spreading the virus around my apartment. So he's no longer welcome here. Hence why I'm doing the outro alone. Fuck that guy. Anyways, leave a like. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Thank you so much. Us!